But I want to start this hour with some breaking news.
Where is
And if you're watching on the WSB live stream, you can see a smile on my face. So this is good breaking news. I've known about this for a while, but I was finally able to talk about it today. The press release went out. You know how much, Deborah, I am a huge baseball fan. I love Atlanta Braves. I grew up in the 80s watching baseball. That's my decade. It was a phenomenal decade. We had some phenomenal athletes in the 80s in Major League Baseball that are currently enshrined in Cooperstown, New York, in the Baseball Hall of Fame. There has, however, been one glaring omission, and hopefully this effort will take care of that omission. A national fan-driven campaign to send one of baseball's most beloved figures to Cooperstown launches today with the debut of a new short film, Dale Murphy to the Hall of Fame. Our beloved Murph finally getting some push here to get him into Cooperstown with where he belongs, get that plaque in Cooperstown up with all the greats of his era. So it launches today with a new short film, Deborah. I'm going to play you the audio here. The voice you're going to hear is country music star Jason Aldean voicing this effort to get Dale Murphy into the Baseball Hall of Fame.
The Eras Committee. It's designed to make sure every era in America's pastime is fairly represented in the Hall of Fame. So let's talk about an era that defined the childhoods and formative young adulthoods of millions of young boys and girls who first fell in love with America's game, watching Dale Murphy's Atlanta Braves play nationally on TBS. Dale Murphy's career, which defined the era known in baseball circles as Generation Murph, followed the natural arc of rise and fall. Murph retired mid-season and hobbled, with 398 career home runs. But in his peak years of 1982 to 1987, Dale was the most productive hitter in baseball.
Home run slugger Dale Murphy powers the Atlanta Braves.
He averaged 36 homers and 109 RBIs. From 1980 to 1990, nobody hit more home runs, and only Eddie Murray had more RBIs. Dale had one of only 5 40 home run seasons in the 1980s. How quaint that seems now. One of 5 30-30 seasons and won the NL MVP back-to-back in 1982 and 1983. The only other 2 eligible back-to-back MVPs not in the Hall of Fame are Roger Maris and Barry Bonds. Not to mention, Dale was also a 7-time All-Star, 4-time NL Silver Slugger winner, and 5-time Gold Glove winner too. Describing Murphy's career, Bill James wrote one word: Cooperstown. Truth be told, his children want this for him a lot more than he wants it for himself, which I'm sure hits home. Many of y'all know Dale. He's happy and content hanging with his grandkids. But his career, which defined the era known as Generation Murph, deserves the immortality that Cooperstown offers the best. That era in baseball deserves it too. This is a game of statistics, and it's equally a game of inspiration and enduring mythology of posters of American heroes hanging on American bedroom walls. We love baseball because it allows us to preserve our inner child, and for those of us who came of age in the 1980s, that means Dale Murphy.
Dale Murphy to the Hall. That was legendary country artist Jason Aldean voicing that. I'm going to post a link to that. Now, the Eras Committee, you might be confused if you're not a baseball junkie like me, Deborah. When a player retires, 5 years after he retires, he is eligible to be voted into the Hall of Fame. And it's sports writers and current Hall of Fame members get to vote in this. And you need 75%, 80% of the vote, 75 or 80% of the vote, I forget, to get in. And Dale Murphy never got in. He never got the requisite votes to get into the Hall of Fame while he was on that 10-year ballot. And then the only other way to get in after is through various committees. And this video that Jason Aldean voiced is straight to the Eras Committee. So each era gets to look at maybe some overlooked candidates. And to me, there's no question that Dale Murphy was overlooked when the original Hall of Fame voting. And I say this growing up. Now, obviously, I'm a Braves fan now. But I grew up a Yankees fan. And in the 80s, it was Don Mattingly and Dave Winfield. But I knew, as a Yankees fan, that the best player in baseball was Dale Murphy. There was no question about it. I got to watch those games on TBS. Like, wow, this guy's amazing. It's, Dale Murphy's incredible. It was just assumed that he was going to wind up in the Hall of Fame. Not to mention the Hall of Fame character that Dale Murphy has. So that finally there's this effort and organization to get Dale Murphy into the Hall of Fame. The website is murphytothehall.com, murphytothehall.com. Full disclosure, Deborah. So I've known about this for a while. I'm on the board of this organization.
Very cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
And again, this if it was me pushing Don Mattingly to get in the Hall of Fame, you're like, Aram, you're a homer, you're a Yankees fan. I wasn't a Braves fan in the 80s. I just knew that Dale Murphy was the best player in the major leagues for a long stretch. And the dude deserves enshrinement. I'm very happy to be a part of this. Thanks to Jason Aldean for voicing that video. And hopefully the Eras Committee, not the Eras Tour, Deborah, of Taylor Swift, the Eras Committee will see fit to right a wrong and correct an injustice. And Dale Murphy. And since, my time at WSB Radio, I've had a number of opportunities to speak and interview Dale Murphy, and just the nicest guy. If character counts, and it should, he's a no-brainer. But I'm very excited. I'll post out the link, but if you want to get all the information, it's murphytothehall.com, murphytothehall.com. Very excited. And how about Jason Aldean, voicing that video? I offered, I'm like, well, I'll voice the video. They're like, they patted me on the head. Like, we got something a little better. But that's exciting. And Dale would never, Murph, as his friends call him, would never campaign for himself. So it warms my heart that hopefully the Eras Committee and we get this big fan-boosted push to get Dale Murphy into the Hall of Fame.